Hey guys, I'm Shane3X. Welcome back to part 2 of 3 for Project Nova on Veteran. This is My Gamers. And just have description box read and have your annotations on. Okay, so in the first part I was mainly just talking about sort of general Veteran tactics. They're not specifically tailored for this mission because it's not very difficult. There isn't anything special I would actually make mention of, maybe except towards the end, but for the most part it does just play like a lot of the other missions where you're using cover, using certain weapons for certain situations. But I do use you know, special tricks and things like that to try and help me pass some of these missions, because if you play them, you know, without them, it sort of gets annoying after a while if you keep dying in certain parts and things like that. So I'll try to help you out past certain parts, because that's probably, you know, you're probably watching. So I would definitely save the mortars, but you do get 4 more after this, or after your first 4, so don't worry too much. You probably don't actually need them at all, except to blow open that wall to get to this section, so don't worry about it too much if you don't find a use for them. Oh, and they do, excuse me, they do have to actually be out in the open. They can't be under buildings and things, because otherwise the mortar team can't see the smoke, so you definitely do want to throw it outside somewhere. You can throw it in front of a building or something, but I suppose that might defeat the purpose of you throwing it in that direction. So yeah, just, you know, keep your gun reloaded. And yeah, there'll be a door that's only able to be opened by teammates. So, you know, but this happens a lot in Call of Duty. It's just to prevent you from rushing through the whole mission, sort of, you know, without concern of the cinematic moments and things like that. And this next part is really just more of the same, you know, using cover, hanging back. There aren't infinite enemies here, so you don't have to worry too much about spending half an hour trying to get past checkpoints. But then again, you don't want to take too long. I mean, this mission should roughly take 20 to 30 minutes. There is quite a bit involved, so it's not essentially the difficulty of it, it's just how much there is, so that's probably your main concern. But like I mentioned in the first part, there is an achievement in the third part of this video guide thing, you know, for the mission. So, and that has to be done in Veteran. Now, I'm not quite sure whether you have to survive or not, or whether you can die and still make the time. I'm not too sure. I will try to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter, because it doesn't actually specifically say make it within this time on Veteran without dying. It just says make it within this time. And even if you die once or twice, you should still be able to make it if you hurry. But yeah, so when you're going through this, take the left hand side, don't go on the right. That's where the machine gun is and where most of the enemies are shooting, so you don't want to be going that way, you want to be going on the left. Now you can you know, swap guns or whatever at any point. Use the mortar team here. That's probably another good use for them, but yeah, it's just really, this is generic advice. There's nothing, I never found any part of this mission requiring specific advice for which I'm known for. You know, if you've watched previous guides or Modern Warfare 2 stuff or anything like that at all, you would know that if there are certain parts of the mission that are especially difficult, I usually find an alternative way to do them. But yeah, this mission doesn't really require any of that. Not that I think anyway, but if you do require help, you know, just leave a comment and I'll give you the best advice I can, things like that. So yeah, just keep moving forward. What else is going on here? And you know, don't get too cocky, don't try to rush things. I mean, a lot of the time when I die, it's because I just couldn't be bothered doing it and I just wanted to get it over with quickly. When probably would have been easier to start off going slow and then only not dying at all, so And I'm sure you guys have probably had that sort of moment too, where you've just gone, oh, let's just rush it, and then you die over and over again. So, you know, we'd all like to finish these missions without dying, but sometimes they get frustrating, or you have infinite enemies, things like that, and you know, you can't help that. So, what else is going on? When you enter this building, do go slow, because there are hiding behind walls and tables and things like that. If you just rush in there, you probably will get shot. Because as you should know by now, no matter how careful you are, no matter what you do, enemies will always find some BS way to try and kill you. And especially given the fact that the AI can't be relied on to kill enemies. As you would have seen on my numbers guide, I had the two guys in front of me and I was hiding behind cover, yet some guy still ran past them and tried to melee me, which was a bit lame, but you know, meh. Now, if I recall correctly, I do get a couple of grenades thrown at me. As I've mentioned in some previous videos, I don't pick them up and throw them back, generally because the angle that they get thrown at makes it difficult to do so. And mostly because the grenades don't get chucked at you at a normal sort of person would. They get chucked at you simply because you're camping. And it doesn't matter where you are, or how many enemies there are, or where the enemies are, or anything like that. It doesn't matter what sort of logical stuff's going on. The grenade will just magically appear at your feet. Which, you know, that's just to try and stop you camping. Nothing that there's, you know, nothing wrong with camping. I mean, it's pretty much almost essential to pass Veteran. Because I doubt anyone was able to pass Veteran rushing, you know, without dying at least a couple of times. And yeah. So yeah, we're just finishing up this part of the video now. I did chop quite a bit of it off because after you talk to Steiner, it's more cinematic stuff. And in the first part, I chopped off 5 minutes. Because that really wasn't any useful stuff towards the actual guide, and that's the same sort of thing here. I chopped off at least you know, 4 minutes after this. So, and if you know about, you know, my videos and things like that, I do have really slow internet, and I don't want to be uploading stuff that isn't really relevant or has a purpose. So you know, I hope you've enjoyed this part 2 of Project Nova on Veteran. You know, please leave comments, I'll help you out, we can have a discussion, things like that. You know, part 3 is coming up shortly, so please watch that. So, yeah.
Do not point that weapon at me, Russian dog! You will take me to Dragovich.
As I looked into the German's eyes, I saw the flashes like still